You ever notice how helping your neighbors sometimes bites you right where it hurts? I'm telling you, if I'd known what was coming, I'd have just kept to myself. Let the snow pile up, let folks dig themselves out. But that's not who I am. Name's Vincent Forrester. I run a one-man snow removal business out in the mountains near Boulder. Been doing it for 15 years now, just me and old plow truck, and a handful of loyal clients who appreciate waking up to a clear driveway after 3 feet of powder drops in one Colorado night. Bought my little spread on Meadowbrook Lane back in 2011. 2 acres, nice detached garage for all my gear. Back then, it was mostly older folks who'd been here since the 70s, and we all looked out for each other. We had an HOA, sure, but it was more like Mr. Henderson collecting a little cash to organize a potluck and fix the neighborhood sign. Nobody cared about mailbox colors or what kind of flowers you planted. We were mountain people, not suburbanites measuring fence heights with a ruler. Getting through winter meant bending rules and helping each other. That all changed 3 years ago when Mr. Henderson passed, and Patricia Whitmore rolled into the biggest house at the top of the hill. Patricia, she's 52, just divorced, fresh settlement money burning a hole in her pocket, and opinions about everything. Within 6 months, she's HOA president. Nobody even showed up to vote. I was off working in Wyoming that week, didn't think it mattered. Big mistake. Her first year, she just fussed over holiday lights and lawns, annoying but harmless. Year 2, she starts coming after vehicles. No commercial trucks parked overnight in your driveway, she says. That hit me, but I got by, hiding my truck behind the garage. Then this winter hit, and everything just fell apart. December dropped 28 inches in a day and a half. My phone blew up. 3 days straight, I was out at 5 a.m., clearing driveways, making sure folks got doctor appointments, keeping the neighborhood moving. My truck's orange lights were a permanent fixture in Pine Ridge those days. And that's when Patricia started leaving notes on my windshield. First one's almost polite. Mr. Forrester, please submit an application for board approval to conduct commercial business. Yeah, sure, Patricia. I tossed it and kept working because Mrs. Chun 3 houses down had dialysis at noon and needed her driveway clear. Second note, less friendly. Final warning. Unauthorized commercial activity will result in fines and legal action. I found that after clearing the street so the mail truck could get through. Oh, the irony. I show up at the next HOA meeting. Patricia's place, all vaulted ceilings, and a fireplace you could roast a hog in. Maybe a dozen people there, mostly new folks. Old-timers like Tom Webster had stopped showing up, couldn't stand Patricia's rules. She's got an agenda printed out, like she's chairing the UN. Item 7, unauthorized commercial vehicle operation. She calls me out. I stand up, boots still muddy. Patricia, I live here. These are public streets, maintained by the county. I'm not conducting business on HOA property. I'm just driving through. She flips her glasses down and says, actually, the HOA regulates commercial vehicle traffic per Section 12 of the CC and RS. Excessive noise, pollution, infrastructure damage. Apparently, my truck checks all the boxes. I tell her I never voted on those updates. She smiles. Absentee votes count as abstentions, which default to the majority. And then she offers me a permit, $500 a month, $2,000 deposit against road damage. The room went dead silent. Even her crew looked uncomfortable. That's extortion, I said. That's the cost of quality, she replied. Take it or leave it. Next time I see your truck, it's $100 a pop. We'll lien your property for unpaid fines. I look around for support. No one meets my eyes. Tom Webster, God bless him, speaks up. Vince helps people. Clear my drive last week, wouldn't take a dime. Patricia's voice goes cold. Rules apply to everyone. No exceptions. I left, cracked a beer, stared at the pile of bills on my kitchen table. $6,000 a year, just to do my job in my own neighborhood? I'd go under. Still, next morning, I'm up before dawn. More snow overnight. First stop, Mrs. Chen's. Only this time, Patricia's Mercedes is parked sideways, blocking the street, her in a puffy white jacket, phone in hand, recording. You're blocking the road. Patricia, I call out the window. She starts in, you're operating in violation. I'm documenting this. That's $100 fine. I tell her Mrs. Chun needs to get out for a medical appointment. She just shrugs. She can hire someone who follows the rules or fill out a hardship exemption for the next board meeting. In March. It's January. She just stands there, daring me. Every instinct says plow right past her, help my neighbor, but I've seen these HOA nightmares. They'll take your house over unpaid fines. Patricia's got lawyer money. I got a mortgage and a truck note. So I back up, go home. Phone rings, Mrs. Chun apologizing. The Robinsons needing help. I tell each the same. I can't work inside the HOA. If they want to meet me at the main road, I'll help, but I can't risk the fines. By week's end, I'd lost 6 regulars. Word spread fast. Vince can't work in Pine Ridge. Patricia told everyone I'd been shut down for operating illegally. The Robinsons looked at me sideways at the mailbox. Mrs. Chin cried when I offered a shovel by hand. She didn't want me getting in trouble. The big storm came second week of January. 3 to 5 feet predicted, state of emergency. I spent 2 days prepping my truck, but the day it hit, the HOA streets disappeared under snowdrifts. I worked county roads, made good money, but Pine Ridge was buried. Next morning, phone rings, school district. Their bus can't get into Pine Ridge, roads blocked. Call the county, I say. The county only plows primaries. The HOA maintains those streets. Call Patricia, I say. She's not answering. Of course not. By noon, neighbors are calling, not for help, but to ask why the roads aren't clear. Patricia had collected extra snow removal fees all winter, said a professional company was on contract. Only she'd run me off, and nobody else wanted her business. Tom Webster called, his voice tired. Vince, we got a problem. Nobody can get out. The mail, medical services, everyone's stuck. Kids can't get to school. Mrs. Chun hasn't had her meds delivered. I told him I couldn't help. Patricia would bankrupt me in fines. This isn't about her anymore. It's about the folks who need help. I sat in my kitchen, arguing with myself for an hour. Why should I risk everything after what Patricia did? But then I thought of Mrs. Chun, the kids, the old woman on oxygen. So I grabbed my keys. Meadowbrook Lane looked like Antarctica. Waves of snow, 6-foot peaks. My truck pushed through, blade scraping, orange lights spinning. Cleared the main route, then the sides. Folks came out, waving, trying to hand me cash. I refused. This wasn't about money. I was nearly done when Patricia reappeared, horn blaring behind me. I ignored her, kept working. She got out, phone up, screaming. You're in violation. I'll fine you for every street. I told her, send me the bill. She called the cops. Sheriff's deputy shows up, tired, half smiling. You Vincent? Patricia says you're violating HOA regs. That's right. He shakes his head. I can't enforce HOA rules. Civil matter. But between you and me, thanks for clearing the roads. When he left, Patricia looked like she might explode. Life returned to normal for a few days, then the fines started coming. Certified mail, $100 per street. Late fees, lien notices. Lawyer told me Patricia had a legal leg to stand on. Would take a court fight I couldn't afford. So I stopped plowing Pine Ridge altogether. Patricia had one. The school bus quit coming. Medical services refused calls. Emergency services said they couldn't guarantee response in winter. Property values tanked. Then, after an April snowstorm, Patricia skipped town. Turns out she'd taken all the HOA money, about 47 grand, and run. Tom organized a petition. 35 out of 43 households demanded an audit. Patricia didn't show up to the meeting. We called the police. Turns out she'd been inflating expenses, making up invoices, pocketing every extra cent. Sheriff's Department found her in Phoenix, arrested her for theft and fraud. She ended up with 6 years in state prison, restitution, banned from HOA boards for life. The HOA dissolved after that. Streets went back to county maintenance. No more rules, no more Patricia. My old clients came back, grateful, apologetic. Tom threw a neighborhood barbecue. No HOA, just people enjoying each other. I got my business back. The lien on my house was wiped clean. The lesson? HOAs, they're only as good as the people running them. Give the wrong person power, and they'll weaponize every rule, turn neighbor against neighbor. But a real community, one that works, doesn't need an authority figure with a clipboard. It needs people willing to help, to trust, to talk to each other instead of filing complaints. Patricia got out early, parole for years in. I ran into her in Boulder, hair gone gray, working a retail job. She looked right through me, then said, "I owe you an apology. I was wrong about everything." I just nodded. She picked up her coffee, hands shaking, and I never saw her again. Part of me hoped she'd figure it out, but honestly, that's her cross to bear. Mrs. Chin passed away last spring. Her daughter called to thank me for keeping her driveway clear all those years. The memorial was in Tom's backyard. 50 people showed, raising a beer to Mrs. Chun and to neighbors who actually give a damn. It stuck with me. Now, when storms hit, I'm out before sunrise, clearing roads, waving to kids on the bus, chatting with neighbors. No more permission slips, no more fines. Just doing what's needed because I can. You want to know if I regret not paying Patricia's extortion? I don't. If you give bullies an inch, they take a mile. Sometimes you have to let a bad system collapse before things get better. That's the way it is in Pine Ridge now. Not perfect, but honest. We talk to each other, help each other. The best communities aren't built on regulations. They're built on trust, on people who care. Funny how it took a fraud to teach us that. Maybe every neighborhood should go through a Patricia to figure it out. Or maybe not. Maybe we just got lucky in a hard way. So, let me ask you, where's the line between order and control, between helping your community and letting someone else decide what's best for you? Ever had a Patricia in your life? I'd love to hear your story. What would you have done? Where do you draw the line? Drop your thoughts below. Share your own HOA nightmare or moment of neighborly karma. Let's talk about what makes a community work or fall apart.